Describe God.
Describe?
Describe God.
Describe what?
Describe God.
I didn't get you.
Brahma.
Describe God? Oh. Describe God. If God could be described, that which you call as God wouldn't be worth pursuing. I know in many cultures around the world, God has always been established as some kind of an entity. Any entity, however large it is bound to be a limited entity. When you say something is, any something is always a limited possibility. So when you say God as an entity, especially an entity that you can describe or define, that means it is a limited possibility. If it's a limited possibility, it's just like you. One more thing. So you want to meet that or not, it's up to you. But what is being referred to as God is just people's idea. It's a whole lot of belief systems. Every culture believes its own kind of God. I come from a culture where there are 1,000,000 gods. It's a very rich culture. If you can create 1,000,000 gods, it's nice. Now, people have always been believing that if you believe in one God, everything is going to be okay. But our history is sufficient proof to tell you, one God people have been creating lots of problems too. Describe God, you have already assumed that something exists. I would say, don't assume anything. Everything that you do not know, have the basic humility to see that I do not know. Only when you see I do not know, there is a possibility of knowing it. When you say describe God, you have a firm assumption that there is somebody sitting up there. This assumption has created enormous pain and suffering to human beings on this planet. Probably maximum number of lives have been taken on this planet in the name of God. Most horrible things on this planet have been done in the name of God. Simply because the fight in the world is not between good and evil. Even today, the wars in the world is not between good and evil. It's always between one man's belief versus another man's belief. The moment you believe something that is not a living experience for you, you're already in conflict with somebody else who believes something else. If you want to seek, when you say God, you're talking about the source of life. Why this idea of God has come to you is, when you were born and you opened your eyes, all this creation was already on. So you assumed, if so much creation has to be there must be a creator. So if there is something called creator, if there is a force or a person or a thing which is creating all this, where can it be? Wherever it may be, if you look at the function of the existence, you can see, if it is there, it must be everywhere. If it is everywhere, it cannot be an entity. So the only way you could approach it is, for example, yourself, if you look at yourself, when you were born, you were only this much, and now you became this much. How did all this happen? Did somebody stretch you from outside? That which you refer to as the creator is constantly functioning within you, creating all this. So if you really want to know what is the nature of the creator, you must turn inward.